Good morning, everybody. It is a Friday morning, and as you can see, we're doing another on-the-road edition of our daily devotion. It's Friday, and it's September 18th. So we're continuing our journey through the Gospel of Luke. Today we are at the 5th chapter, and we're going to look at verses 17 to 26. And this is a very well-known story. I'm sure absolutely everybody has heard this multiple times. It's a story of Jesus healing the paralytic man. This is a story that we find in all three of the synoptics. Synoptic meaning one vision, of course, as we've said. But this is a story that found so much importance that it's been included in all three of the Gospels. Though it's a little different in some of them. Matthew, in his Gospel, we don't have a building involved. There's no mention of that. But other than that, the story is pretty much the same. In Mark's Gospel, it identifies the location as being in Capernaum. So we oftentimes envision this or think of this being at Peter's home, though it doesn't say that. It just says it's in Capernaum. Now, in Luke, where we're at today, Luke doesn't say what city it's in, and it doesn't say whether it's in a home or someone's house or anything like that. It's in a building, though, because they tear apart the roof and lower the man in. We don't know if it's a greeting or meeting place or a home or the synagogue even. I doubt it's the synagogue, but it doesn't say. We just don't know. And it identifies that there are people coming there from all around. So it is a little bit different, but by and large, the story is the same. So with that, let's jump into chapter 5 of Luke's Gospel, and let's look at these verses 17 to 26. One day while he was teaching, Pharisees and teachers of the law were sitting nearby. They had come from every village of Galilee and Judea and from Jerusalem, and the power of the Lord was with him to heal. Just then some men came carrying a paralyzed man on a bed. They were trying to bring him in and lay him before Jesus, but finding no way to bring him in because of the crowd, they went up on the roof and let him down with his bed through the tiles into the middle of the crowd, in front of Jesus. When he saw their faith, he said, "Friend, your sins are forgiven you." Then the scribes and the Pharisees began to question, "Who is this who is speaking blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God alone?" When Jesus perceived their questionings, he answered them, "Why do you raise such questions in your hearts? Which is easier to say, 'Your sins are forgiven you,' or to say, 'Stand up and walk'? But so that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins, he said to the one who was paralyzed, 'I say to you, stand up and take your bed and go to your home.' Immediately he stood up before them, took what he had been laying on, and went to his home, glorifying God. Amazement seized all of them, and they glorified God and were filled with awe, saying, 'We have seen strange things today.'" Indeed, they have seen strange things today. So this is the story where we oftentimes talk about that Jesus has this inner perception. He knows what people are thinking around him, and so he knows what the scribes and the Pharisees are questioning. And of course, he quizzes them with that, which is more difficult, to heal someone or to forgive their sins. And of course, since they would believe and we would believe that only God can forgive sins, obviously that would be the more difficult of the two. So Jesus is led off with the more difficult one rather than going with what we would perceive from his dialogue would be the easy thing, to heal someone, which we don't particularly think is easy anyway. But the man is healed, in that and it's talking about the faith of the man. But really, the story isn't about so much the faith of the man as the faith of his friends, right? These are his friends that are so devoted to this man, they're not going to let something as piddly as a roof and a ceiling get in their way to get their friend to Christ. They couldn't get through the crowd, but they found a way, by golly, by whatever means necessary. Not that the end justifies the means. Remember, that's not the moral of the story. The moral is that you find a way to get to Jesus. Even if the world throws stumbling blocks to you, you find a way to get to Christ. And beyond that, the life application for us, Gail's with me today, so I have to talk about life application. The life application for us is that we are in the role of the friends, aren't we? Are we going to allow our family and friends to live in a crippled life? Because any life without Christ is truly and genuinely a crippled life. So with that, since Gail's got a call coming in, I'm going to let you go so that Gail can talk. Can hold her up for a minute. So please have a blessed day, and remember, be a blessing to someone today. Thank you. Bye-bye.